During my school days, I used to visit my grandparents on the weekends and holidays. The memories of those days were so beautiful because the motivation to reach there were the stories that I heard from my grandfather. The stories were very small, but then it was very deep. The stories were very enticing, they were very mystical, and the wanting to hear more and more, but it would end quickly because grandfather had allotted half an hour for every story, and those half an hours would just go as if in a minute. These stories he would pick from the epics Mahabharata and Ramayana, which is till today the most beautiful epics, where each one of us meditate upon or dive deeper to find solutions to so many problems. As a child, when my grandfather used to tell me stories, they were just characters, and I would imagine the characters in the space as he told the story. And literally the breathing pattern would slow down so much because it would relax me completely. And he would tell these stories just before going to bed. The beauty of that was I would sleep with the story in my mind, basically waking up and awaiting the next story next night. So this is how my childhood school days passed. And then during the teenage days, it became more of the prince and princess stories, more of Sleeping Beauty stories, and then the stories of Cinderella. More of the Western stories started catching my attention. As you grow from your childhood to your teenage and then become an adult, the adult life keeps you so occupied with so many responsibilities coming in your life that you have no time for any stories. Your entire day has been spent doing some work or the other, and by evening you're so tired that you just want to take some rest. But from there, once your children settle and once you start feeling that the workload has reduced, that's when again you go back to these childhood stories and start contemplating on them. Or that's what I am doing, or that's what I did. From the last few years, I've been looking at these stories in a very different way from when they were told to me and how I perceived it as a child. Today, the way I'm perceiving it is so different, and I've started to feel that there is so much more depth in each of these stories. Today I want to share with you the story of King Kansa that my grandfather had told me, that he was the king of Mathura, and he had got his sister Devaki married to his friend Vasudeva, and he was very happy that the marriage had taken place, and he wanted to drive them to Vasudeva's house. So he climbed onto the chariot and he looked around and he saw that Mathura was celebrating this whole thing, and there was a lot of sense of pride in him. He was very happy that his sister was married to this very good human. Everything had happened as he had planned, and there was celebration in the air. People of Mathura were happy. They could express their happiness with all kind of blessings coming out of there, words of blessings being showered on the couple. It was very beautiful when Kansa looked around and felt very proud. King Kansa was very powerful king, and his citizens were very happy with the way he had conducted this wedding and celebrated and shared all the meals with Mathura. So now, suddenly, the entire air took a turn when the clouds started to darken and thunder and lightning was heard. When the thunder and lightning was heard, everybody around who was standing there near the chariot heard a Akashvani, which is a voice from the sky, which said that the 8th child of Devaki is going to be the one who's going to kill you, Kamsa. Your death is going to be in the hands of the 8th child of Devaki. The person who was so happy, proud, and celebrating this entire thing, King Kansa, in a moment he got very angry. He took a sword and he wanted to kill Devaki. That is when Vasudeva stepped in and he said, "Please do not kill her. Instead, I will hand over all the children to you when they are born." For a moment, Kansa thought about it. Vasudeva continued, "It's not right to kill your own sister. This is the Akashvani spoken about the 8th child, but I'm giving you away all the children." When he started pleading, Kansa thought about it. He said, "Okay, what he's saying makes sense to me." So he basically dropped his sword, but he ordered his men to imprison Devaki and Vasudeva. Now the trust that he is going to hand over 8 children was not there in Kansa. He wanted them to be there in Mathura itself, so that he could be there when the children are born. And then, as promised, Vasudeva would give him the children. The thought there with Kansa was that there was a fear of death. That fear of death now became so powerful that the thoughts of self were so powerful that he imprisoned his sister and husband. Now, in this whole story, as a child, Kansa became a very bad person to me, and I had compassion for Devaki. I had tears rolling down my eyes because I didn't know how she was going to manage. As a child, these were my thoughts. And the story also was so powerful that I couldn't think beyond that. Now I wanted to know what happened to Devaki, which my grandfather would say, "I'll continue the story tomorrow, but you think about this story today." When he did this to me as a child, I understood that one basic thing he was doing is increasing my listening skills. The power to listen, which is also called Shravana in Sanskrit. That is the beauty. And then, because there were no gadgets, there was nothing, nobody else to play around, my mind was soaking in with the story. Today, the same story, when I can recollect what he said, I understand that there are so many emotions in each one of us that we become Kansa, we become Devaki, we become Vasudeva, taking different roles within a span of minutes in the same day. When fear overcomes our thoughts and then it becomes an action, we do the same thing. We become very insecure. A lot of thoughts of fear and insecurity starts multiplying in our mind, and we have churning in our stomach, fire energy that is created. The sensations change, the body language change. Now the body has become very, very tired, even with the thought of the fear and insecurity, because you're fighting now. The same thing happens when you're happy. There is joy around you. When there is joy around you, you can hear the Akashvani. When Kansa was happy, that is when the thunder and lightning, the significance of thunder and lightning is awareness. When there is some awareness, when the sound of thunder, everybody heard, everybody became silent. And then the Akashvani spoke. The same thing happens to us. We also get this Akashvani. The universe speaks to us in different languages, through words, through feelings, through actions, through sight. But we are not able to see it because our thoughts are so powerful that keeps us engaged throughout the day. For a minute, if you just think about it, when you were very happy or when you were in a state of peace or bliss, you would have heard or seen so many such universal messages. This is the meaning of Akashvani. Akashvani has given a warning according to Kansa. If you look at it, the same thing can be looked at as, by Kansa as having 8 years. So he has 8 years of life. What could I do in those 8 years of life? If he had taught this way, instead of fear overpowering him, his life would have been totally different. His life would have been so different. He would have celebrated life. He would have enjoyed all the wealth. He would have not even asked Vasudeva for all those 8 kids. He would have said, that's okay. He would have played with them. And maybe the way death would have happened would have been very different. Here Kansa is accumulating karmas by killing all the children, by imprisoning his sister, by living in fear, himself being so disturbed that he is not able to sleep in his palace in peace even for a single day. It's the 8th child, but his mind is always thinking, why take a chance? Did I hear the Akashvani properly? It could be any child. Let me kill all the children. So the thought of fear is so overpowering. Today, if I look at the story, I think of the thought of fear, the thought of anger. That leads us to so many actions, which is very disturbing. Not only mentally, physically, even to the vibrations around your own space. When you meditate upon Kansa's story, you understand so many things. First is the Kansa character, which I can see is a very good intention of getting his sister married, celebrating. Then the intention shifts. When the self comes in, it shifts to bad intention of wanting to kill, bad intention of wanting to imprison, but good intention of listening to Vasudeva when he says, don't kill her, I'll give you the children. There he surrenders. So these fluctuations happen within a span of a few minutes. All those people who were celebrating for a minute before now are all very, very tensed because of what Kansa is doing. They all know they have to bear the fruit of these actions, of what Kansa is doing, because they're also a part of Mathura. Nobody stood for Devaki. Everybody were under fear of Kansa. So they're also going to be a part of that karmas. They also have to pay it. They also have to suffer in some way or the other. These soldiers who are also celebrating now are imprisoning Devaki. If you look at Devaki's character, she has gone through so many emotions all at one time. She was happy, she was celebrating her marriage, she was very excited to go, then she was grateful to the citizens of Mathura. And now suddenly she was about to lose her life. And then her life is saved by Vasudeva, her husband, and then now she's imprisoned. Within a span of a few minutes, we all go through so many emotions like Devaki in our life. And then everything calms down. But at the end, everything happens for good. But the emotions and feelings that we go throughout the day, we have to look into these things in our life every day. If I look at Vasudeva, he was very balanced. He was in a state of bliss, and that is why he could put sense into Kansa. It's not just the words. His solution-oriented, intention that don't kill her, I'll give you the child. He thought about it quickly. Because for Kansa to kill, it would have taken a second, but in that 1 second, he thought about it. That means he was in a state of bliss. That state is again called Satchit Anand state, where you're always in a state of Anand. In that state, you're able to think of a solution. So this also we would have experienced sometimes. When we are trying to solve somebody else's problem, it's very easy because we are witnessing that problem. So we are in that state from where we are able to give them solutions. So for our own problems, we find it difficult because we are involved in the problem. So if we look at Vasudeva, he was in that state, calm, relaxed, and then he gave a solution. And he also handed over the children to Kansa, even though it was difficult for him. He kept up his promise. So we can look at Vasudeva as in a state of bliss. And Kansa having both good deeds and bad deeds. And Devaki also surrendering and having gratitude and accepting. So these are the energies that we take from the story when we try to understand the story deeper. When there is fear, what exactly do we do? to overcome that fear? How do we face that fear? It's a very simple method. First, you need to understand and say, this is the fear. Fear of the unknown. When the fear is of the unknown, you have to accept it. When you accept it, you calm down. With your incoming breath, you accept the fear, and the second question you ask is, fear for whom? I am being guided by the divine, by the universe, every breath. So this is not for me. I'm going to find a solution. When you say this, the thought of fear does not multiply. It kind of disappears. When it disappears, you will get faith and find a solution, like how Vasudeva found a solution. In your everyday life, you can apply these things. For fear, for anger. Even anger, when he came to kill, he took a minute, but he listened to Vasudeva for the solution. So when you're angry, just take a minute and watch the outgoing breath. Now you have to watch the outgoing breath and let go of that. For fear, you're accepting it with the incoming breath. For this anger, you're surrendering it by letting go of that anger with the outgoing breath. Take deep outgoing breath. First, you recognize that this is anger. This does not belong to me. This doesn't have space for me. I'm a relaxed person. Then you let go. Once you let go with a relaxed state, you'll have absolutely, within a few seconds, the energies will change. Like how Kansa's energies changed. He accepted the solution and he took away, imprisoned them. The fear was still overpowering him, so that's why he imprisoned them. Then it became insecurity of future. So there was a lot of disturbance in them. So every fear also turns into insecurity of future. So you have to watch fear, anger, insecurity of future, and then understand, in the state of bliss, I get a solution. With this whole story has taught me these energies. Whenever there's fear, I call it Kansa. I say, okay, Kamsa has come. Anger, Kamsa has come. Now, I have to become Vasudeva. How to become Vasudeva? For fear, I watch incoming breath. And for anger, I watch outgoing breath. Relax. And then become Vasudeva and find a solution for both. And same thing for Devaki. Acceptance. Devaki is acceptance. She accepted, she surrendered, expressed gratitude. And that is why it was easy for her and her life was spared. So this part of the story that my grandfather shared with me when I was a child, he ended it here. Similarly, we will continue with the next part. Meanwhile, I want you to listen. I want you to contemplate on what I've shared with you. I want you to understand that all these energies exist in our everyday life, but they can be converted. Energy can be converted easily into joy, peace, bliss, and unconditional love. We can do that exercise by starting one by one. Throughout the day, if you can mark something, like keep a paper or something, and every time you have a victory, mark it and say, okay, now I'm going to get a reward for this. At the end of the day, see how many energies you're able to convert from fear, from anger, and from insecurity into peace. And then see how many times you're in a state of bliss, how many times you're enjoying, and there is joy in the vibrations around you, air around you. Also, how many times are you listening to these Akashvanis? What is the universe trying to tell you? What are the birds, the tree, the earth, the air, the sky, the water energy? What are they are trying to communicate to you? If you can write it down, note it down, even words, it will be beautiful at the end of the day to read and analyze what you have been doing throughout the day and how you've been watching your energies. When you start watching your energies, the energy starts to get converted. All the negative energy gets converted to positive. And slowly these energies will start automatically becoming positive when they enter you. The intention itself will become positive. Your thoughts will become positive. Your actions will be positive. And that will be the most victorious day for you. When everything is positive and one whole day you'll be able to be in a state of bliss, that will be the most beautiful day for you. Celebrate life by converting these energies and being in a state of Satchit Anand.